I spent $200+ on Allure 2024 Best of Beauty products, and I'm here to tell you whether they are worth it or not. I have been testing these products out for the past 3 weeks, and I feel like I have a good idea of how well these products wear and if I would repurchase them. I'm gonna start off with the only drugstore item, and this is the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. This one for the best matte primer. I feel like this primer really does fill in my pores. It gives me a really nice filtered look. It's an added layer of moisturizer as well, which is pretty nice. And I think that because it's in this liquid form, it's easier to apply. It glides on my skin more smoothly than the one in the pot. So it does mattify your face just a tiny bit, but my foundation ends up with a nice satin look depending on the finish of your foundation. I think that it does help make my makeup last a little bit longer. If anything, I just think it makes the application smoother. This is definitely a win, and I can see why it was in the Best of Beauty for 2024. The next product is the Fenty Soft Lit Naturally Luminous Longwear Foundation, which won the best liquid foundation. If you know me, you know that I hate wearing foundation, but with this foundation, you guys, I really like it. It looks like skin. Every time I wear this, I have such a good makeup day. It just feels like a filter all over my face. This foundation gives a nice satin look. It does not oxidize. I also noticed that when I apply it near my under eyes do not crease, which is really important. It's just a lightweight texture that I think is so ideal. I will say that if you have dry skin, this may not be for you, because when I had some dry patches on my face, I noticed that the foundation kind of stuck on that dry patch, which was kind of annoying. But if you have a really good base layer of moisturizer underneath, this foundation will look so good. So if you have normal to camo skin, maybe oily skin, you would love this foundation. As far as coverage goes, it is a light to medium, but I think it's buildable, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. There's some makeup that I would wear on camera, but I would never wear out in public because it's just so cakey. But I do like this foundation, you guys. My skin looks so good. This foundation is also pretty long wearing, and it just wears off beautifully. I could totally see myself repurchasing this after I finish. They also have so many shades, and this is probably one of the better foundation shade matches I've ever found. I'm in love. Next up, I was so excited about these. These are the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tints. I have 2 shades. I have 53 and I have 62. First of all, I think these are the ones that Sabrina Carpenter supposedly wears, and her cheeks look so good. As far as formula goes, I think that these are a lighter weight formula than the Rare Beauty ones, which are a little bit more thicker. This one is almost thin and it blends out so easily. I tried it on bare skin and it looks like natural skin, which is so nice. This formula is pretty buildable, but it does blend out pretty sheer, so that is something to keep in mind. This blush lasts a lot longer than I expected to, especially for not setting it with another powder blush. I just set it super lightly with the one size powder, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and it does last all day. I mean, it wears off, but like the foundation, it wears off beautifully. It layers on top of other foundation very well. If you are my skin tone or deeper, I would skip out on shade 53 because it barely shows up on my skin. It's kind of pricey for something that doesn't show up. So this shade, I would not repurchase again. This one, on the other hand, 62, I think it's a very nice mauve natural color for every day. I would say skip out on these and opt for the Rare Beauty ones, which are more pigmented and it lasts long as well. These were a bit disappointing for me, especially for how much money they were. You're not missing out on anything, trust me. In the best bronzer category, we have the LYS No Beauty Limits Cream Bronzer Stick. I have this in the shade Harmony. I think that this is a great color match if you are around my skin tone. So the texture, it's very creamy, it blends out matte, and there are no shimmers in the stick, if you are wondering. If you have an oily skin type, this may not be for you just because of how emollient or oily it is. It looks soft on the skin. I don't set it and it lasts decently long. If you have a heavy hand with this though, it can look kind of muddy. If you select a wrong color, it can also look muddy. I prefer this compared to the Rare Beauty one. The only thing I don't like about this is the shape, because I feel like if I were to apply it, it's just too thick in the area, so I end up only trying to use the tip and it's just awkward. So I don't care for the shape. The packaging is nice though. I just wish that it was a solid tube. That way it's easier to apply and really concentrate this in the areas that you want. I would recommend this, and it's only 20 bucks, which is really affordable considering that this is sold at Sephora. In the best loose powder category, we have the One Size Ultimate Blurring Setting Powder. I have this in the translucent one. I also bought the mini size of this because I'm not a big powder wearer. With that being said, I think this is one of the most fine loose powder that I have ever tried. tried. I thought the e.l.f. setting powder was finely milled. This is even more finely milled, and because of that, it gives the nicest blur to the face without my face looking dry. So I set it lightly underneath my under eyes and my forehead, and I think that just like the foundation, just like the primer, it just gives my face such a nice veil of blurring, and it looks so good on the skin. Because it's so finely milled, I find that it's not the most long wearing. It looks good like right now, but 5 to 6 hours from now, you'll see my natural oil seep through, and I don't even have oily skin. Take that with a grain of salt. Because I'm not a big powder wearer, I do like this. Will I reach for this? Is this something that I could see me using in my routine? Most likely not. I'm always running late for work, and I don't have time to be using this. If you are in the market for a nice loose powder, I think this is a great option. If this is too expensive, the e.l.f. one does just as fine. But I will say, the e.l.f. one has like a little bit of a white cast on me, whereas this one, when I put it on my skin, it just blends and melts into my skin. I didn't even spray any setting spray on my face, and I don't feel like my face is very drying at all, which is a A+ for this loose powder. The best brow pencil of the year is the Rare Beauty Harmony Precision Pencil. It's dual-ended like most eyebrow pencils are. One end is the pencil itself, and then the other end is a spoolie. This is one of the nicer spoolies that are on brow pencils. Even when I'm not using the product itself, I will just reach for this to kind of comb through my brows because it's just the perfect length, and the bristles are just perfect. It brushes everything out nicely. As far as the formula goes for this brow pencil, I find that it is a little bit more on the oily side. So if you have oily skin, I would not recommend this for you. I noticed that it does last pretty long, like throughout my full 8 hours of work, or if I'm doing something, I notice that it still will stay on my skin. It just has a more shiny finish to it. So if you don't like brow pencils that are shiny, this is probably not for you. I have repurchased this twice actually, and I do really like this. I reach for this every day when I just want to fill in the tail of my brows for work. If you do not like the pencil being thick, you won't like this. She's thicker than the one that I would normally like, but I'm used to it since I have been using it for the past few months. I also don't love the shape because it's like cylinder. I don't know what shape it is. It's like long and round. And because of that, it makes me filling in my brows a lot easier, but it's harder for me to get those light strokes at the beginning of my brow. I have the shade Cool Brown. I like this. I've repurchased this. I probably will repurchase this again until I come across one that does even better. I think that it's at a reasonable price point, again, for a high-end product. In the best tinted lip gloss category, we have the Refy Lip Gloss in the shade Blush. The appearance of this is like a sheer tint color, obviously, because it's a tinted lip gloss. I noticed that when I put it against my skin, it shows a more pink color than what it actually goes on my lip. As you guys can tell, I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit more pinky swatch than on my lips, and because of that, I bought this color. I wish I would have bought one that had a little bit more color to it so that it would actually show up on my lip. I just feel and look like I'm wearing a lip gloss. It has the slightest stickiness to it, but it's not bad at all compared to like the Dior one. It does not last long at all. If I'm like eating and I wipe it off, it completely goes off. But once I do wipe it off, it doesn't give my lips a very drying feel, which is really important because a lot of lip products, after you wipe it off, your lips be looking crusty. One cool thing I forgot to mention is that the applicator is like a metal tip, which means it's very cooling on the lips. I think it's cool. I don't really care for like a cooling feeling on my lip. Sometimes it's a little cold. This is probably the product that I reach for the least. This product I feel is more like a luxury product to wear if you have it nice, but if you don't, you can skip out on it. I wouldn't run out to go and buy this. I don't know if I'd ever repurchase it again. I would rather wear something that kind of stains my lips. So if you guys know of a good lip stain, let me know. I don't notice anything mind-blowing about the formula, so for me, this is just a skip. It's a nice product to have, but it's not my #1 pick. And last product we have is the best tubing mascara of the year. This is the Tarte XL Tubing Mascara. So because I have Asian lashes that literally just grow straight out, I have to curl my lashes and use a waterproof mascara if I want the curl to stay. With this, I noticed that it does not keep my curl at all, and I'm surprised by today's application. My lashes, it was curled at first and then it slowly drooped down, and now it's kind of at like a weird 45-degree angle that looks nice but not flattering. I don't know, I just don't like it. My holy grail is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara waterproof version because this actually holds my curl. The wand is just a shape that makes it really difficult to to apply mascara, when I try to go to the root to the tip, I notice that a lot of products clump near the root, and I don't like that. This is more of a wet formula, so I think that's why it really droops down my lashes. The only good thing about this mascara, I would say, is how easy it is to remove. So for me, the only time I really considered wearing this the past few weeks was if I were going to my parents' house and I knew that my mom doesn't have heavy duty makeup remover. I would probably opt for this if I wanted to wear some form of mascara because it rubs off so nicely with water. It's so cool how if you just run your face under hot water, you will just slide it right off. Otherwise, this is a skip for me. It makes my lashes look so sad. This is a no for me. I will not repurchase this again. I even had, I don't know if I still have it. I have their Tarte Tubing Mascara originally, and I thought this did nothing for my lashes. I just kept it so I could let you guys know that it doesn't work for me. And then I had a lot of hopes for this because it's XL. It's a tubing mascara. It's supposed to be cool. Disappointed. So I would just say if you have lashes like me that do not stand up straight, skip out on these two tubing mascaras. Maybe the Thrive Cosmetics one might be better. I've never tried that one. I just don't like this at all. I hesitated wearing this. I hope you guys found this wear test and review helpful. Let me know what other products you think I should try, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!